Hello there, and welcome to the Sleepy Science Hub channel. Tonight we're stepping into something that shapes every moment of your life, yet often gets overlooked. Your well-being isn't just a fleeting feeling or a passing mood. It is a complex system woven throughout your body, your mind, your habits, and the people that surround you. It rises and falls with sleep, your breath, how you move, and even the type of light you experience each day. What may seem small can be powerful. A walk, a conversation, a memory, a moment of attention. All of these can shift the way your mind and body respond to the world. Beneath the surface, countless processes are working together, adjusting, repairing, learning, and guiding you in ways you may never fully notice. If you enjoy these gentle journeys, I invite you to like, subscribe, or share a thought below. It helps others find their way here too, one sleepy soul at a time. But for now, all you need to do is relax. Allow your body to soften. Let your eyes grow heavy and notice the day begin to gently fade away as we explore this inner world together. Let's begin. Your well-being is shaped by your body, brain, relationships, and surroundings. It can be tempting to think of feeling well as something private, tucked inside the mind like a secret mood. But human well-being is built more like weather. It forms from many forces meeting at once. Sleep changes how the brain reads the world. Food changes energy and patience. Movement alters chemistry in the blood and brain. A warm friendship can calm the nervous system faster than logic can. Even noise, clutter, light, and air quality can shift how safe or strained the body feels. That means well-being is not just a question of attitude, it is a whole ecology. A person may feel low because of loneliness, poor sleep, stress hormones, and dim winter light all working together. Change one piece and something else may start to move. Change several and a life can feel surprisingly different, even before anything dramatic happens on the surface. A short walk can lift mood, memory, and focus within minutes. One of the remarkable things about the human brain is how quickly it responds to movement. You do not need a marathon or a perfect routine to feel the shift. Even a brief walk can begin changing the body almost at once. Blood flow increases. Muscles start using fuel more efficiently. Stress chemistry can ease. The mind often feels less stuck because walking gives thought a rhythm, almost like gently rocking a restless system back into motion. Studies have found that people often think more clearly after walking, and some perform better on memory or attention tasks soon afterward. The setting can deepen the effect. A tree-lined path, open sky, or even a quieter street may help the brain relax its vigilance. It is such a simple act that people often overlook its power. Yet a few minutes of steady steps can begin turning agitation into momentum and fog into clarity. Deep sleep quietly resets emotion, learning, immunity, and energy overnight. While you lie still in darkness, the body enters one of its most important repair states. Deep sleep is not empty time. It is active restoration on a grand scale. During this phase, the brain helps strengthen useful memories while clearing away the clutter of the day. Hormones involved in growth and repair rise. The immune system carries out essential work, preparing defenses and restoring balance after stress. Muscles recover from effort, energy systems reset. Even emotional resilience seems to depend on this hidden nightly work. After a poor night, ordinary problems can feel sharper, heavier, and more personal. After a good one, the same world often seems more manageable. It is astonishing that so much of what we call patience, motivation, and steadiness may depend on something we cannot witness directly. Each night, beneath awareness, the brain and body are rebuilding the conditions that make tomorrow feel possible. Sunlight helps set your body clock, mood, and nightly sleep. Morning light does far more than help you see. It acts like a timing signal for the brain telling the body when the day has truly begun. Special cells in the eyes respond to brightness and send that information to the systems that regulate alertness, hormones, temperature, and the rising and falling rhythm of sleep. When this signal arrives at the right time, the body is more likely to feel awake during the day and ready for sleep later on. Mood can shift with it too. Many people notice that bright mornings make them feel more alive, and science suggests there is real biology behind that feeling. Light exposure helps anchor the daily pattern the brain expects. Without enough of it, the clock can drift. Then sleep becomes less predictable, energy becomes uneven, and emotion can feel strangely untethered. It is amazing that one of the oldest forces on Earth still sets so much of human life. Your gut and brain are in constant conversation through nerves and chemistry. Inside the body, there is a dialogue taking place that most people never feel directly. The digestive system and the brain exchange signals all day long through nerves, hormones, immune pathways, and chemical messengers produced by the microbes living in the gut. This means emotion can alter digestion, and digestion can influence mood, appetite, and mental clarity. Many people know the feeling of stress landing in the stomach before it fully forms in thought. That is not poetic language, it is biology speaking first. The vagus nerve helps carry some of this traffic, while gut bacteria help produce compounds that may affect the wider nervous system. Scientists are still mapping how deep this conversation goes, but the evidence already suggests something extraordinary. The mind is not floating above the body like a detached observer. It is in living contact with the organs below. Well-being, in part, is a story of this hidden conversation staying in balance. Breathing patterns can shift heart rate, calm, and attention in real time. Breathing is one of the few body systems that works both automatically and under conscious control, which makes it unusually powerful. Most of the time, it happens without instruction. Yet the moment you change its pace, depth, or rhythm, the body begins to respond. Slow, steady exhalations can help reduce physiological arousal. Faster breathing can prepare the body for action. Even attention tends to move with the breath because rhythm gives the mind something simple and physical to follow. This is why breathing practices appear across so many cultures and healing traditions. They do not work by magic. They work because air, nerves, heart rhythm, and brain state are linked. In stressful moments, the breath often becomes shallow and hurried. Changing that pattern can send a different message inward. It is remarkable that such an ordinary act can become a lever. With no equipment at all, a person can begin nudging the whole system towards steadiness. Kindness changes well-being for the giver as well as the receiver. Most people think of kindness as something that travels outward from one person to another, but it also circles back. Acts of care can affect the person who offers them, sometimes in surprisingly measurable ways. Helping someone, comforting them, giving time, or even making a small sacrifice for their ease can strengthen a sense of purpose and connection. The body may respond as well. Stress can soften when a person feels useful rather than helpless. Attention shifts away from narrow self-concern and towards shared life. That does not mean kindness should become a selfish strategy. Its beauty lies in its sincerity. Still, science increasingly suggests that generosity is good for human beings in both directions. In social species, this makes deep evolutionary sense. Communities survive when care moves through them. A kind act is never only about manners. It can become a biological event, changing emotion, meaning, and the texture of the day for everyone involved. Joy is not random. Your daily habits help build it. Joy can feel mysterious because it arrives as an emotion, and emotions often seem to appear on their own. But the conditions that support joy are frequently built in ordinary ways. Sleep shapes emotional steadiness. Movement can sharpen energy and brighten mood. Time with people you trust can create safety, and safety gives joy room to emerge. Even anticipation matters. Looking forward to something small can begin lifting the mind before the event itself arrives. Over time, habits become like channels that make certain feelings easier to reach. This does not mean life can be controlled perfectly or that sorrow is a failure of routine. Human experience is far too complex for that. It does mean, though, that joy is not always a lucky accident. Often it grows where attention, rhythm, rest, connection, and meaning are given somewhere to land. Much of happiness begins long before the moment we finally notice it. Your brain can learn calm through repetition, just as it learns worry. Many people imagine calm as a personality trait, something a person either naturally has or does not. But the brain is always learning from repetition. If a mind rehearses danger, rush, and worst-case thinking every day, those pathways become easier to travel. The alarm system grows quicker, louder, and more convincing. The astonishing part is that the reverse is also true. Repeated experiences of safety, steady breathing, supportive connection, and deliberate recovery can train the nervous system in another direction. This is not instant, and it is not pretending nothing is wrong. It is practice at a biological level. The brain begins to expect that a pause can be safe. A setback does not always mean catastrophe. A racing heart does not always mean threat. With time, what once felt unnatural can become familiar. Calm is not always found. Often it is built one repeated signal at a time inside the circuitry of expectation itself. Exercise releases chemical signals that help the brain grow new connections. Movement changes the brain in ways that would have seemed almost magical not long ago. As muscles work, they release chemical messengers that travel through the body and influence the brain. At the same time, exercise is associated with increased levels of substances that support neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form and strengthen connections. In practical terms, this means movement may help the brain become more adaptable, more resilient, and more ready to learn. Some researchers compare this effect to preparing soil before planting. The experience itself does not insert knowledge, but it can make the brain more ready to receive it. This may be one reason exercise is linked with sharper thinking and better cognitive health across life. What is breathtaking is the unity of the system. A walk, a swim, a ride on the bicycle, all can send signals upward from the body that say, in effect, grow here, connect here, stay flexible here. Nature can lower stress even when you only hear birdsong. There is something extraordinary about how quickly the human system responds to traces of the natural world. You do not always need a mountain, a forest, or a long escape into wilderness. In some studies, even the sound of birds has been linked with improvements in mood and reductions in stress. That suggests the brain may carry old expectations about what certain environments mean. Birdsong often signals relative safety in the landscape. It belongs to living places, to daylight, to spaces not dominated by engines, alarms, and hard edges. When that sound reaches us, something in the body may soften before thought catches up. This matters because modern stress is often relentless and sensory. The nervous system stays braced. Then, a natural sound slips in and changes the tone of the whole scene. It is astonishing that a small thread of life carried through air as song can help remind the body that the world is not only pressure and noise. Hope is linked to better health, resilience, and goal following. Hope is sometimes mistaken for wishful thinking, as though it were nothing more than optimism wearing softer clothes. In reality, it appears to be a powerful psychological resource. Hopeful people are often better at imagining pathways forward, even when circumstances are difficult. They do not simply want the good outcome. They are more likely to believe that action still matters and that belief can change behavior in profound ways. People who feel hope may be more willing to persist, to recover after setbacks, and to keep working toward goals that would otherwise feel impossible. The body may benefit too, because hopelessness can drain motivation for sleep, movement, treatment, and connection. Hope helps keep a future in view. That may be its deepest power. It stretches the mind beyond the present obstacle and says there is still somewhere to go. In hard seasons, that is not a small comfort. It is often the difference between disengaging and continuing. Strong friendships can predict health as powerfully as famous medical risks. Human beings are often described as social creatures, but that phrase can sound softer than the truth. Close relationships do not simply make life more pleasant. They appear to affect physical health in profound ways. People with strong social ties often show better outcomes across many measures of well-being, and chronic isolation has been linked with serious health risks. This may be because friendship changes what the body expects from the world. Support can lower stress responses, improve recovery, and make healthy habits easier to maintain. A trusted friend may encourage sleep, movement, laughter, or medical care without ever giving a formal lecture. Just as importantly, companionship can change the meaning of difficulty. Pain, grief, and uncertainty feel different when they are shared. It is astonishing that conversation, belonging, and mutual care can ripple so deeply into the body. In that sense, friendship is not merely emotional comfort, it is part of human survival. All can make stress feel smaller and life feel larger. There are moments that seem to stretch the mind beyond its usual boundaries. Looking up at a sky crowded with stars, standing beneath enormous trees, hearing a piece of music that feels too vast for words, or learning something so strange and beautiful that your ordinary worries loosen their grip. This feeling is awe, and it appears to do more than simply impress us. Researchers have found that all can change how we experience ourselves in relation to the world. People often report feeling less trapped inside their own concerns and more connected to something larger. Time can even feel different, as though it has opened a little. That may be one reason awe can soften stress. It rearranges scale. Problems do not always disappear, but they stop filling the whole frame. In a curious way, wonder can be medicinal. A changed sense of proportion can restore breath, perspective, and the feeling that life contains more than pressure. Loneliness can strain the body, not just the heart. Loneliness is often spoken of as though it were only a feeling, painful, but somehow separate from the body. Yet the body appears to take social isolation very seriously. Human beings evolved in groups where connection meant protection, shared labor, and survival. When that bond is missing, the nervous system may begin to act as if something is wrong in the wider environment. Stress responses can stay elevated. Sleep may become lighter or less restorative. Inflammation and overall physiological wear may rise over time. This helps explain why loneliness can feel exhausting rather than merely sad. The body is not judging the quality of a calendar full of plans. It is reading whether a person feels known, supported, and held within human connection. That is why a crowded life can still contain deep isolation. It is also why one genuine relationship can matter so much. For a social species, belonging is not decoration. It is a condition the body recognizes as health. Laughter changes breathing, muscles, and stress chemistry all at once. A real laugh is far more than a sound of amusement. It sweeps through the body like a full system event. Breathing changes first, breaking into rhythmic bursts that push air out more forcefully than ordinary speech. Muscles in the face, chest, and abdomen join in. Attention shifts. Social barriers can drop. For a moment, tension that felt fixed may lose its grip. Laughter has been associated with changes in stress chemistry and with the kind of bodily release people often describe as feeling lighter afterward. There is also something deeply social about it. A laugh shared with another person can create instant synchrony, as though two nervous systems have briefly stepped into the rhythm. There may be one reason it can feel so relieving. It does not only entertain, it resets the atmosphere between people. In a species built for connection, laughter is both signal and medicine, a sudden eruption that can loosen fear and restore a sense of ease. Music can reduce pain by changing expectation, attention, and emotion. Pain is not created by injury alone. The brain also shapes how pain is experienced, and that is where music becomes so fascinating. A piece of music can gather attention and pull it away from raw discomfort. It can create expectation, structure, and emotional movement, giving the mind something meaningful to follow instead of circling the sensation itself. Music may also help people feel less threatened by pain, which matters because fear can intensify what the body feels. In hospitals, during exercise, and even in daily life, people often report that certain songs make discomfort easier to tolerate. This does not mean the pain is imaginary. It means perception is dynamic. The brain is always deciding how much weight to give a signal. Music enters that process like an invisible guide, reshaping the experience from within. It is astonishing that patterned sound, nothing more solid than vibration in air, can alter one of the most intimate sensations a human being can feel. Gratitude can train attention to notice what fear often hides. Fear has a way of narrowing vision. When the brain senses threat, attention is pulled toward danger, lack, and the next possible problem. This can be useful in an emergency, but exhausting when it becomes a habit.